Welcome everyone. Our today's topic is nutrition in animals and this is also for class 7. So this concept refers to the body's need for nutrients, mode of ingestion. Okay, so first question before starting the main concept is which are the various nutrients in food and for what purpose are the nutrients used? So student, these are the various major nutrients of food. Out of first is carbohydrates, vitamins, roughage, water, minerals, proteins and fat. So these are the major essential nutrients which should be there in our food. And next question is for what purpose are the nutrients used? So nutrients are compounds in foods essential to life and health, providing us with energy, the building blocks for repair and growth and substance necessary to regulate chemical processes. So these nutrients play very essential role in our body. Alright, nutrients necessary for various activities of the body are obtained from the food, and they are supplied to the various part of the body through our blood, and the food that we consume does not mix with blood as it is. It needs to convert into soluble forms that can easily mix in blood. And nutrition in animals involves various steps from ingestion to ingestion. So the food which we are taking in, which we are consuming, okay, it is not directly mixed with the blood. First this the food is getting converted into simple compound from the complex compound, and then after converting into the simpler form, it is easily mixing with the blood, and all the nutrients are supplying to each and every part of our body by the blood. Alright, so nutrition in animals involves 5 steps. So let's see. So first step is ingestion. Now ingestion means food is taken into the body, that means the food which we are eating from our mouth. So this is the ingestion. Now next step is the digestion. Now digestion is breakdown of food into simple form, that means the food which we are taking, it is broken down into simple form, that is conversion of food into simple soluble forms. And third step is absorption. So absorption is digested food is absorbed into the blood, that means after converting into the simpler form, the digested food is absorbed into our blood. And next is assimilation. Now what is this? So in assimilation, absorbed food is used to provide energy, that means absorbed food after the digestion, the food which is absorbed in our blood, that is used to provide energy to our body. And next is ingestion. So removal of waste products and undigested food from body. So these are the 5 different steps from the ingestion to ingestion. Alright, now types of nutrition in animals. So student, there are 3 types of nutrition in animals. A is a holozoic nutrition, type B is a saprozoic nutrition, and type C is a parasitic nutrition. So we are going to study all these 3 in detail one by one. Okay, so first type is A, holozoic nutrition. So what is it? So student, it is a process by which animals take in their food. It involves different steps, namely just we have seen in our previous slide, that is ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and ingestion. So just simple, the animals which take their food inside, it is called as a holozoic nutrition. Okay, so amoeba. How does ingestion occur in amoeba? We all know that amoeba is a unicellular organism, that means the organism with only one cell, and from that only one cell only all the 5 steps have been followed, that is from ingestion to ingestion are followed within a single cell only. Okay, so let's see how does ingestion occur in amoeba. So first, amoeba does not have organs like hands and mouth. Okay, you all can observe the picture on the screen. Does it contain any hands or legs? No. Okay. and not mouth also. Okay, so it is a unicellular animal. It can take in food through any part of the surface of its unicellular body. That means where the food is produced, where the food is kept, so it will move its body towards the food particles. Okay, you can observe the nucleus is there in the center, and it surrounds the food particle from all the side to take it into the cell, and after that it digests the food with the help of a different enzyme. Now you can observe here pseudopodia. Now what are the pseudopodia? These are the, we can observe, we can say that these are the projection, or these are the body, we can say as part of the body only. So these are called as a pseudopodia. So it can, where the food is kept, the pseudopodia are produces, and from that it will engulf, that means it will take in the food. Okay, and we can observe here food vacuole and food particle. That means where the food particle is there, so food vacuole will be formed, and inside the food vacuole food particle will be there. Okay, so after that it digests the food with the help of a different enzyme which are produces by the within the cell, and undigested food is left behind as the amoeba moves further with the help of a pseudopodia. So we can say the pseudopodia are leg like part, so the undigested food can be removed out from the body, okay, as it moving from the pseudopodia. So in unicellular animals like amoeba, euglena and paramecium etc., all the steps of nutrition occur with their unicellular body. That means all the steps of nutrition like ingestion, assimilation, digestion are taking place within a single cell only. So this is how the ingestion occur in the amoeba, unicellular organisms. Alright, so insects. So insects have mouth parts for ingestion of food. So insects have the mouth part from which they are taking in their food. So for example, insects like the cockroach and grasshopper which nibble have jaw-like mouth parts, and butterflies suck food with a tube-like proboscis. You can observe the tube-like proboscis are there by which the butterfly can suck the juices of a flower. Okay, and mosquitoes and bed bugs use a needle-like mouth part to pierce and a tube-like mouth part to suck up blood or other fluid. We know that mosquito bites with the help of a needle-like mouth part which are there on their body. Okay, so this is how the insect taking in their food or liquid from the mouth part. So how will you classify the following animals according to their food types? So to classify the animals according to their food type, there are three different types. They are classified into three different types. So according to the type of a food, animals can be classified as herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, scavengers and decomposers. Let's see what are these terms. Okay, so first is the herbivores. So herbivores use plants directly as their food. That means they are plant eaters. And examples are grazing animals, granivores, seed eaters, frugivores means fruit eaters. So these are the all herbivores. Now next is the carnivores. Now these animals that depend on the other animals for their food. That means animals that depend on the other animals for their food are carnivores, and carnivores are indirectly dependent on the plants for food. Examples are animals that feed on herbivores, animals that feed on insects. So predators are feed on herbivores, and insectivores means the organism or animals which feed on the insects. Now next is the omnivores. So these animals that obtain their food from both plants and animals. So that's why they are called as the omnivores. So examples are like monkey, chimpanzee, human, etc. So these like raccoon, bear, seagull and chimpanzee. These are all are the examples of omnivore which can obtain their food from plants as well as animals. Okay, so student, some of the organisms around us perform the function of cleaning and conserving the environment by the very act of feeding themselves. They are called as scavengers and decomposers. So scavengers obtain their food from dead bodies of animals, for example vulture, crow and hyena, etc. So these obtain the food from the dead bodies of the animal, as you all can observe in the picture also. Okay, and next is a decomposer. So decomposers are some microbes or microorganisms which obtain their food by decomposing the dead bodies of organism or other materials, like earthworm are there, mushrooms are there, insects and bacteria. So these obtain their food from decomposing the dead bodies of organisms. Okay, so some insects like unicellular organisms, animals, etc. obtain the nutrients by absorbing the liquid organic material from the dead bodies of other animals or from the environment. So these are called as a saprozoic nutrition. So this is a type B. Okay, and this is a saprozoic nutrition. Examples are housefly, ants and spiders. So these all are the examples of saprozoic nutrition. Now the third type is type C, parasitic nutrition. So students, some animals depend upon other animals for the food, and they can obtain the food only from animals on whom they are dependent. It means the parasitic nutrition is a type of a nutrition in which the organisms live on or inside the body of their host and derive their food from them. Like the organisms, these are the organisms which are there on outside of the body or inside of the body, and they can obtain the nutrition from the host animal. Like examples are tick, flea, mite, mosquito, leech and roundworm. Okay, all right. So some animals live on the body surface of other animals and obtain their food by sucking their blood, and these are called as a ectoparasite nutrition, and such animals are called as a ectoparasite. For examples like tick, termite, harvest mite and larva. So these organisms are present on the outside of the body of the host organism. That is why it is called as ectoparasite. That means the parasite which are ecto, outside of the body. Now next is animals like tapeworm and roundworms live inside the body of other animals and obtain their food, and endoparasite, it is called as endoparasite nutrition. Now these animals are living inside the body of the host, inside, that's why it is called as endoparasite nutrition, and these animals are known as a endoparasite. For examples are roundworms, whipworm, hookworm and tapeworm. So student, that's it for today's topic and today's video, and we have completed our lesson, that is nutrition and living organism of class 7. Okay student, I hope you all have understood. Thank you.